Make new friends but keep the old. These lines were written by a Welsh composer in the 19th century, but they still make sense, not just in personal relations, even in geopolitics. Case in point, the United States and Pakistan. Pakistan's cabinet has reportedly approved a key security pact with Washington. It is called CISMOA, Communication, Interoperability and Security Memorandum of Agreement. I know it's a mouthful. This pact is not new, though. It was signed between Pakistan and the United States in the year 2005. Its validity was for 15 years. So in 2020, the pact expired. Almost 3 years later, a new one has been approved, and this too is set to run for 15 years. But why is it important? Because the US does not sign such agreements with every country. This pact is reserved for allies and defense partners. If you sign this deal with America, it's easier to buy weapons and hardware. So the obvious question is this. Is the US planning to sell weapons to Pakistan? And if they are, it is a risky move. Last year, the Pentagon approved an F-16 package for Pakistan. It was worth around $450 million. India was not impressed. We know Joe Biden has invested a lot in his relationship with India, but selling more hardware will raise alarm in New Delhi. Will Biden risk that? Most experts say he won't. But the way this deal was handled is fishy. We have seen no official statement from either side. But American and Pakistani sources have confirmed this news to multiple agencies. So why the secrecy? Are they trying to downplay it? Or is there something more at play? I'm afraid we'll have to wait and see. The US and Pakistan have a long history of defense sales. In 2006, they signed deals worth $3.5 billion. Pakistan was America's biggest customer that year. Their arsenal is filled with American hardware, from F-16 fighter jets to howitzers to attack helicopters. But in the last few years, a new seller has emerged, and that seller is China. From 2017 to 2021, China made up 72% of Pakistan's demand. Just one problem, though. The products are substandard. Pakistan's army has been complaining about China's hardware. The F-16s are still their frontline jets. To repair and refurbish them, Pakistan needs American support. But how should India see this move? Repairing F-16s will not worry New Delhi. It doesn't really alter the power balance in the region. India's military remains far superior. But what if it goes beyond that? What if Washington sells new weapons and hardware to Pakistan? That would be worrying. The US hasn't said anything about selling new weapons, but they have talked about Shehbaz Sharif's recent offer. The Pakistan Prime Minister claims he's willing to talk with India. The US says we support this idea.
As we have long said, we support direct dialogue between India and Pakistan on issues of concern. That has long been our position.
So what exactly is happening between Pakistan and the Americans? It's a very strange equation. After 9/11, Washington needed Pakistan's help in Afghanistan, hence all the weapons and funds. But now that's not the case. Pakistan has little strategic value to the US. In comparison, India's stock has increased. So Joe Biden has largely ignored Pakistan. No high-level visits, no political engagements, not much trade either. Washington considered Pakistan a lost cause. But throughout this period, one thing has not changed, and that is the military relationship. In February, rumors spread that Army Chief Asim Munir was in the US. The Army denied it, the Army of Pakistan. Then last month, he hosted a top American general, Eric Kurilla, who heads the US Central Command. And now you have this defense pact. Pakistan is like a bad habit the Americans can't ignore. The question is why? It's not about countering China, because let's face it, that ship sailed years ago. Pakistan today is effectively a Chinese vassal. Many experts say it's because of the nuclear weapons. That's why the Americans are still in this game. The US fears Pakistan's nukes may fall into the wrong hands. Biden talked about this last year. He called Pakistan one of the most dangerous countries in the world. He said their nukes have no cohesion. Could that explain America's military cooperation? Well, maybe, but it is still a risky game. You cannot expect India to ignore continued military cooperation with Pakistan. There will be a red line. It's about where India will draw that line.